I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs, your daily date with destiny. If by destiny you mean an idea for dinner, then your destiny is today, because I see the next 30 minutes very clearly here. I predict a delicious Cajun pasta in your future and how to make your own focaccia bread with no bread maker and no kneading. I also predict a very rumbly tumbly, so let's go. Joining me in the kitchen today is Chef Madison Nienaber. She's the executive sous chef for the living room, who serve up new American cuisine at locations at Dunedin and Wesley Chapel. And welcome to the Dinner DeeAs kitchen today.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you.
We're going to have a lot of fun today because we're making a Cajun pasta, but I kind of buried the lead since it has a much fancier name than that, right?
Yes, it's called the Bobby Boucher.
The Bobby Boucher, my friends, is of course named after Adam Sandler's character in the 1998 classic, The Waterboy, which was actually filmed here in Florida. Fun-filled fact there, everybody. And the critic consensus on Rotten Tomatoes, it was an absolute insult to its genre. So let's hope that this dinner dish gets a much better reception later when we taste it. So first, though, we got to start working with bread.
Yeah.
All right, so how do we get started with this focaccia bread?
Let's go ahead and add our flour in here, specifically bread flour.
Bread flour. So you do not want to use all-purpose flour.
No.
Why?
Because it just won't rise as well. It doesn't have the right gluten content in there.
Okay.
Now we add our yeast and our salt in there.
So that was just a little bit of yeast, a little bit of salt. So all your dry ingredients are going in right now.
And now we add in our additions, which are for flavor. Little garlic confit.
How did you make the garlic confit? Because so many people think about that. What is garlic confit?
It's just a slow roasted garlic and oil, and that oil you can actually use. You can put that on your steak and marinate anything with it.
Okay.
And it gives it that great flavor.
Very nice. So it brings out a nice little bit of the sugar content from the garlic as well as it's releasing. And you also have a burst of some sweetness as well, because I saw you add tomatoes?
Yeah, so these are actually blister tomatoes, which are tomatoes that you essentially cook on a very high heat for a very short amount of time.
Okay.
And what you're doing is they turn a little black because you're blistering them, and the skin starts peeling off actually, just like a blister on a person. All right. Then you want to make sure you use nice warm water to actually activate this yeast a little bit.
How important is it to have warm water? Not cold water, not hot water, but warm water. What's the ideal temperature for warm water?
All right, this is actually very important because if the water is cold, then that yeast will stay dormant. So that yeast will not come alive and your bread will be very flat.
Okay.
So by using that warm water, you're activating the yeast and getting it ready to grow.
So warm water will help with that whole rising property. Now, what about hot water? Would that go even double the rise? Or no, you don't want to even go that direction, Jeff. Why are you even asking the question, Jeff?
That might essentially actually kill the yeast. Yeast is a living organism, so using hot water would just essentially kill it. And then
so this is all about science and technique and everything, because I also see that you're working with a scale as well.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you measure everything out in grams because it's very exact and very precise. 1 little gram off could actually set the whole thing off. All right, and then once we mix it all in, we'll just add a little bit of olive oil on there to give it a little wetness, and it adds that flavor of our pure olive oil on there. So now we have to make sure we seal it. Very few ingredients in this one, very simple bread here, and we want to make sure it's nice airtight, and then that's when we put it in the fridge for 48 hours.
All right. And with the magic of television, my friends, we have one that we already made earlier that is ready to go, and this has already been for 48 hours. Why 48 hours? Why 2 days on this?
So that's actually how we develop all that flavor. It is a nice cold fermentation, which as you can see, it has grown. And that has all that flavor in there from the additions that we added in. And then what we want to do is put it in our pan to get ready to bake it.
Okay.
Put a little more oil for crispiness as well. And then just very nicely.
And that was just a layer of parchment paper.
Put that in there.
Just a layer of parchment paper. And then just a little bit of more oil.
You can see it's nice and airy already because it was sitting in there for 48 hours.
And is this the consistency that you're looking for after 48 hours?
Oh yeah, it's going to be very smooth from the oil, and it's going to be very nice and airy.
Very nice.
And then from that, we can just spread it out a little bit so you make sure you get all those corners and you have nice flat bread. And then from there, we're going to wrap it again and let it sit out for 2 hours. And it's actually very good to keep it near the oven because a little bit of warmth helps it grow a little extra.
Okay.
So we're basically bringing that yeast alive again because it was sitting in the fridge for 2 days, getting all cold. And now...
Which is intentional with the cold, fermentation process.
Good for flavor and as well as growing it. But then right before we cook it, to get it back alive, we get it nice and warm.
Okay.
All right.
And with the magic of television, again, we already have one more that we've already let be by the oven for 2 hours here. And you can even see that has even risen too.
See that?
And you can even see all the gas bubbles too.
Yep, that's what you want. That's very good. And now from here is how you make focaccia.
Okay.
By getting all the airy holes in there. So ready?
All right, let's do this.
We're gonna dimple it up.
And we're just gonna.
You want to touch all the way to the bottom.
This is pure science here.
All the way through. Yep. Get all those air in there, all those bubbles, and then from here, that's when we add a little more flavor.
Okay.
And sprinkle that salt right on top too as well.
Okay. Okay. I already got a little bit of the rosemary here. I'm just gonna add this,
nice and flavorful.
and then I'll go with the salt on my other hand here.
Put all that flavor in there, nice and delicious.
Okay. Boom.
All right, now it's ready for the oven. So the oven's preheated to 500, and
Okay.
then once we put it in the oven, we bring it down to 450.
Very nice.
All right.
If you want to honor Adam Sandler tonight with your dinner, and come on, America, he has given us all so much. He deserves it. Grab Chef Madison's recipe for the Bobby Boucher pasta straight from the menu at the living room at dinnerdeas.com, where we also have a recipe for the focaccia. Just scan the QR code on the screen. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Chef Madison shares how to butterfly your shrimp and whatever the heck that means. Ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Today we're joined by Chef Madison Nienaber. She's the executive sous chef for the living room and is sharing not one but two recipes from their menu. A Cajun pasta, also known as the Bobby Boucher, and focaccia bread. Before the break, Chef Madison shared how to make the focaccia dough, weighing and combining bread flour, instant yeast, roasted garlic, blistered tomatoes, and warm water. We then let it cold ferment in the fridge for 48 hours, though since we only have a 30 minutes before the next show, we cheat it. We swapped it out for one that we made earlier, which we then pressed into a lined pan, let it rest for 2 hours, and then did the science bit of pressing all the little holes into it, adding some rosemary, some salt, and putting it into the oven where it's baking right now, which means now it's Bobby Boucher time.
Oh yeah.
All right, how do we get started?
All right, so shrimp, when you butterfly it, the purpose is really just to better for your mouthfeel instead of having this big old piece of shrimp.
Okay.
So essentially, just to butterfly it, all you do is take the tail off, pinch it real quick. You don't waste any meat in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do. And then from there, you can see right here the split. That's just right where you cut it right now.
Where's that split? Let's see it again.
Oh, you can see it right here on the shrimp. It has a natural split, which is actually from the shrimp being deveined before when you buy it. They always come deveined at the grocery store. It's really easy. And then like this. So it's nice and light when you eat it and not a big chunky piece of shrimp. So just like that.
So it's just a really fancy way of just saying, hey, we just cut it in half.
Yeah, basically. Now all we're gonna do to start off, we got our pan on medium heat. We're gonna add butter because it's a cream sauce. So add the butter, get it nice and melted, spread it around in there. All right. And then from there, we're gonna add our garlic. And then we'll add some shallots as well.
Very nice.
We're just gonna mix it up in there. Let it get
Salted
crispy.
butter, unsalted butter, what are we working with?
So always in the kitchen we use unsalted just because we want to add our own flavor to it. You know, so that's just so we don't over salt it.
Yeah.
So we know exactly where we're starting at. We're starting at 0 every time and not somewhere in between.
Love it.
All right, and we can see it getting nice and crispy right in there. Looking nice and good.
Okay. So you're seeing all just, it's starting to change a little bit, and you're just sweating that out.
Yep.
The shallots, our garlic, and our butter coming together here. Okay.
All right.
You can smell it. It smells fantastic. Isn't that just a beautiful pairing of flavors?
Right? All right, and then from there we're gonna add some sherry wine to deglaze it, which is just lifting all of those flavors that caramelize on there. We're lifting them all up off the pan so it can get that nice flavor, see? You can just smell it, and that's how you know you're doing it right. You add it in there, let it deglaze a little bit, and then from there we're gonna add in that shrimp to let that shrimp cook. Put that shrimp right in there like that.
And what type of shrimp are you using for this?
So this is a 16-20 shrimp, which just means that there's 16 to 20 pieces per pound. And so this is at Walmart about just $5. It's not really that expensive at all. And you can pick really any size of shrimp, but it's just a kind of standard in between large and medium shrimp.
Great.
All right.
To make this a Bobby Boucher for your dinner tonight, or Cajun pasta if you're not a fan of Adam Sandler, you can grab Chef Madison's recipe for that and the focaccia we have baking behind us at dinnerdeas.com. Just scan the QR code to get there.
All right, and now here's our little Cajun sauce here.
Okay, Cajun sauce. What's going on there? What do we have already in the bowl?
So we just have some heavy cream in there, some blackened seasoning, which blackened seasoning is just a mix of some paprika as well as some herbs, garlic, onion. Basically the basics, just a darker, a little more flavorful, little spicy Cajun seasoning. A little bit of Worcestershire sauce and some salt and pepper, and that's all you need in this one.
But it's important to actually bring all of those ingredients to the actual liquid.
Yeah, because this will make sure that it's fully combined and you don't get any little chunks of seasoning if you add it in separately in here. So we want to make sure everything's combined and the sauce is its own sauce.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
And then from here we can see the shrimp is cooking. We can see it starts turning pink and it starts shrinking. That's how we know when it's getting cooked. See, it's not fully cooked yet. It's still a little raw because some pieces aren't all the way there. But like this piece, we can tell. That's how we know when the shrimp is done. Usually takes a couple minutes to cook. All right, we can see it's almost ready here, and that's when we can go ahead and
how do you know it's exactly ready so that you can add it? It's all now pink, it's all to your liking that you
so
want?
we can tell it's all now pink. It's like a little bit under still, but that's just so it doesn't get overcooked when we let it simmer. So
okay, perfect.
It's just almost there. So then we'll go ahead and add in our sauce. Get all that in there.
That looks so good already.
All right. And now is when you can turn it down just a little bit lower so you can let it simmer and you let the sauce reduce.
Okay, so we're just going to start, we're going to bring it down to about a low heat?
And we can add in our crawfish. Crawfish takes about a minute or two to cook. It's very, very quick, so that's why we just add right in at the end. And it's
now, is
ready to
crawfish easy to find?
Crawfish actually is really easy to find. They sell it at Walmart, $7 and 3 pounds. And this is only 6 ounces we have here, so it's really, you can freeze the crawfish and use it again multiple times for multiple dinners.
So great value on that part too. Very nice.
Yeah. So we go ahead and let that in there. We'll add in some peas as well. A lot of peas for color. And then we'll also want to add in a squeeze of fresh lemon in there.
Love it.
All right.
And that's just to bring everything together and brighten it up a little bit?
Give it that little pop in there.
Okay.
All right. And now is when you just leave it for a couple minutes to simmer, reduce the sauce, get it nice and to our liking and our thickness, and then we go from there.
I love it, because when we come back, now the scrimps are done. How to finish up the Bobby Boucher and see how our no-knead, no bread maker focaccia is looking ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz. Today we're joined by Chef Madison Nienaber, Executive Sous Chef at The Living Room. She's been sharing how to make 2 great dishes from their menu that you can make at home tonight or in a couple of days in the case of the bread. We started the show making a 48-hour focaccia, a classic Italian bread with a simple dough which does take 2 days to cold ferment, but then only takes 15 minutes in the oven, so trade-off there. Before the break, we also started on the Bobby Boucher pasta. And watch the show again online for the story behind the name. You'll get it. We sauteed garlic, shallots, deglazed with sherry, then butterflied and added our shrimp, heavy cream, and Worcestershire sauce, and added crawfish, peas, and a squeeze of lemon. And during the break, we already cooked up some linguine to go with it. So is it ready to go into the sauce now?
All right, yeah, it's nice and boiled there. It takes about 6 to 7 minutes for linguine to cook. And then we'll just go ahead and add that right in there. It's nice and ready.
Okay.
And then we can just mix it in right away.
Is there a reason for linguine?
Specifically, no. It's just a more thicker pasta, so it helps really combine with that sauce good.
Okay.
Thinner, the sauce would be more loose. So we like to keep it all together, and that's also why we add the Parmesan, because that's a nice binding agent as well, to keep the pasta all together so it's not very runny like a soup or anything like that.
Okay. Now, is this well combined to your liking, Chef? Okay.
And then we go in and add that Parmesan.
Okay.
And then when you add in Parmesan, you just want to turn off the heat as well.
Why is that important to turn off the heat?
That's important because we don't want to burn that to the bottom, because cheese burns very easily. So if we keep that on, we possibly burn it to the bottom, and then it won't be very good anymore.
And all those flavors you just worked for,
gone. All right, so it's nice. It's ready to go.
Okay.
We're ready to plate it up.
Wonderful. I'll slide this over for you.
All right.
Now, what's the plating technique when it comes to this pasta dish?
Pasta, you kind of just put it right in the middle to get the best look on it. And essentially, you're grabbing all the noodles first, so all of your meat will be nice on top, and it looks all pretty and beautiful.
Love it.
All right, just gonna grab a little bit of that shrimp right there, and you can just see all that you cooked. You work for the peas as well to give it that nice little pop, and then that's why as well we're gonna add that parsley.
Just a little bit of parsley going on top. Okay.
So then you have that nice pop of color.
It looks fantastic. That looks absolutely beautiful. And then we also still have focaccia too.
Oh yeah, take that out the oven.
For Chef Madison's recipes for this beautiful Bobby Boucher pasta, name taken from a movie that is older than she is, grab it over at dinnerdeas.com, where we have all the ingredients, the amounts, and the directions ready for you to print. Just scan the QR code and look at this. We've got focaccia bread. Oh, come on now. That was our hard work. Our fingers just kind of kneading and going into it there.
You can see it all right there, those dimples. That's all the air and dimples.
I can see it. I see my fingerprint right there.
Yep.
That was my fingerprint, not yours, on that side.
That's how it was yours.
Is that to your liking?
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Fantastic. That looks absolutely beautiful. Because if you make this for your dinner, and why wouldn't you, don't forget to take a photo and let us know how it turned out. You can follow us on Facebook and message us there. That's what Wendy did. She's watching us in Hudson, or will be when she gets home, since she DVRs us. She made the black and red fish with collard greens shared by Chef John Antonaccio from Elevage. She says the collards were the best I have ever had, and then she used snapper in place of the red fish, and says, you don't need all the ingredients the chef uses. I mean, Chef Madison, yay, nay to that statement?
That is so true, because maybe you don't like shrimp, you don't like crawfish, that's okay. Put it with chicken. Still tastes delicious. Cajun pasta goes good with anything, really.
See, exactly. Thank you, Wendy. Let us know if you make this dish too. And when we come back, time to taste test both our Bobby Boucher pasta and our not named after an Adam Sandler character in a 25-year-old movie, Focaccia. Ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, where we share ideas for dinner from great chefs to you. Today's great chef is Madison Nienaber from the living room in Wesley Chapel and Dunedin, and she's been making two great dishes from their menu, the Bobby Boucher, a Cajun pasta, and a 48-hour focaccia. Well, I've waited 2 days for this one, we got to go straight into it, because like that focaccia, come on now. You going in for a first on that one?
This.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, what are you tasting right now?
You can taste the salt, the garlic. There's just so airy, light dough. It's amazing.
And that little pop of that tomato, that blister tomato. Oh, come on now. Now, let's do Adam Sandler some justice here. This is Bobby Boucher. I just love the names of all of these dishes too. All right. Wow. That's hitting on every level right there. That little bit of the crawfish right there that I got. Come on now.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
That's amazing. It's just super Cajun. The blackened seasoning is just amazing.
Yeah. Shrimp or the crawfish? Which one are you going back for in that one? Because I'm picking out, I see crawfish right here, because I'm actually going to.
Oh yeah.
Little bit of both.
Crawfish, just so decadent. It's so So perfect.
I love it. It's absolutely fun. Now, we've been saying all through the show that you're the executive sous chef at the living room. You have to juggle the high-pressure job, this whole kitchen gig, being a cat mom. It's a freaking frack.
Yep. My 2 babies. boy and a girl.
I love it. Which one's the naughty one?
The boy.
The boy?
Oh, yeah.
And which one is that one?
He's
the
on
one
the right.
On the right.
He's bigger and he's meaner.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
He asserts himself.
Yeah. Always fighting. Always being bad.
Now, I gotta ask you this, because like I do this for our dog, and I cook a lot of food, but I don't really hear and read about cat food, being like homemade cat food. Do you cook for your cats?
Not usually, but sometimes they get little pieces of salmon. If we have salmon, they like to eat the fresh salmon.
So it's on the treat level.
Yeah, it's like a little treat. They always want to eat what we have, but only salmon.
Only in moderation with just that salmon treat. I like it. The more you know. Thanks again to Chef Madison Nienaber. A link to the recipes she's made today with all the amounts, the ingredients, and directions are ready for you to grab at dinnerdeas.com. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more Dinner Deas.